Hey everybody, it's Brian. BrianDavisLive.com is the website. I'm so glad each and every one of you is here. I'm hoping to get this video done by the time I drink that coffee. Wife is left for the day, so I made myself a palatable pot of coffee. Starbucks mocha. Love it. Birds are singing, sun is out, windows are open. It's still early in the day. I'm loving it. So, what am I doing here? Like I said, my name is Brian Davis. BrianDavisAlive.com is my website, and that website was born because of the fight that I'm in. January 27th of 2016, I was diagnosed with stage 4 cholangiolar carcinoma, layman's terms bile duct cancer, a 13-centimeter tumor planted inside of my liver, had cut off, bile exiting my liver. I turned jaundice. I had no idea I was sick. I was a certified insanity trainer with Beachbody and circuit training an hour a day at the time. And I had no idea I was ill. None. I felt great, actually. And like I said, I turned jaundice, and we went into the ER. An MRI later, tumor was found, and that's where my life went. We went down to Henry Ford, and they told us that there was a 20% chance of getting a drain placed in my tumor or in my liver to drain off the bile. Without placing that drain, I only had about 3 weeks left. By the grace of God, they were able to get that drain placed. My tumor or my liver got drained off. We started a regimen of cisplatin and Gemzar chemotherapy. That is the standard regimen out of the gate for this type of cancer, even though it is terminal. Every patient out there is given that regimen out of the gate, and depending on the tumor type, the DNA of the tumor, depending on the DNA, because this is a mutating tumor, a mutating cell, and which is largely why it's terminal, because it does mutate. But depending on the tumor and the patient, is to how long they'll be on cisplatin and Gemzar. Myself, in particular, I made it 40 treatments. That's huge for a cholangio patient. I mean, it's more typical of single digits or, maybe low teens. From my experience, from what I've seen, I made it 40 treatments. And I focused a lot on trying to keep up my exercise, but also in trying to keep my nutrition up on a daily basis. And the cool thing about that was was watching my blood work and seeing my blood work respond to my nutrition. I'll share more about that in the future. But just a quick note, at the end of my 40 treatment span of cisplatin and Gemzar before it failed, my blood work that last week of treatment, my white counts were normal. 5.8. That's in a normal range for a male. And to have 40 treatments of cisplatin and Gemzar, it takes 6.5 hours to get it dripped into you. It's an intense treatment. To have normal blood work, crazy. So we're very optimistic. I've talked with my new medical team. They're very optimistic about me finding an immunotherapy trial that will work based on how I've done with the cisplatin and Gemzar. They have to do gene sequencing testing to determine the DNA of the tumor, to determine what studies or case studies that are clinical trials that I'll fit into. I can't think of the word. Oh my gosh. Chemo brain, it's a real thing. So, yeah, I'm going to share my journey every day because, one, I want everybody out there to know they're not alone. Okay, it doesn't matter if you're fighting cancer or not, you're not alone. Every person in the world has a struggle they're facing that we don't know about. I promise you that. There's nobody in the world that's perfect. There's nobody in the world that has everything going right. The sooner you can admit that, the better off you're going to be. Trust me. Face it head on. That's why truth's the best policy. You just face obstacles head on. The big thing that I want to share with the world from here going forward is my perspective on life and my self-awareness. I think through sharing with you what I've learned about perspective and self-awareness, could help you. I'm sure of it. If I can give you just a slice of my perspective self-awareness pie, even if it's just a sliver, if it's so thin that you got to put it on a glass slide and look at it through a microscope, I don't care. If I can give you just a shaved sliver of this pie so that you can see what this diagnosis has done for me in my life, and if you can just taste it, if you can just get enough to where you can just taste a little, you could live a better lifestyle. Seriously. None of this talk about building an online business and living in a better lifestyle and living on the beach and, follow some of those people. They're preaching and coaching about things they know nothing about. Not everybody, don't get me wrong. But there's a lot of it out there. All I'm saying is if you're going to follow somebody that's charging you $1,000 a year to coach you or more online because they're online lifestyle coaches, they're charging you that kind of money, check out their lifestyles. Make sure they're not one of those people that rents a Lamborghini and walks around a rented house that's been staged by a real estate agent so that they look like they're living large, if you will. It's not necessarily the truth. So be skeptical. You should be. If I can give you just a slice of that pie, it could change the way you live life. And it's really what I want to do here. Things got unlocked for me. And following Gary Vaynerchuk. And he's a little rougher on the edges, so, be careful. But if you can tolerate listening to him, there's a lot of knowledge there. He unlocked a lot of things for me. He happens to also preach on the Perspective and Self-Awareness platform, which it's kind of odd. Because I was actually on that bend before I started following Gary, but it drew me to him, which again goes back to, I think God puts things in my path for a reason. I was drawn to him because of the perspective. I saw a video he did on perspective, and he actually is on the platform of Perspective and Self-Awareness himself. So I follow a lot of his things, but it's huge. It really is. Knowing where you fit in the puzzle of life and your perspective as to what your situation is, huge. That's all you got to do. You can think that the world owes you everything and that everything's against you. The second you can flip your perspective, things get better. I don't know whether I'm going to live 30 years or I don't know whether I'm going to live 3 years or I'm going to live 30 years. But I'm pretty confident that the last 3% is going to suck. Okay? I'm pretty confident of that. But I also know that means that this 3% right now, I need to enjoy every second of it. And part of enjoying every second of this 3% is believing I'm going to live that 30 years. Believing that with God's help, in following the pushes that I feel from him, what to eat, how to treat myself, who to see, what doctors to have, I follow those pushes. I believe I can live that longer strain, but I don't know how long I'm going to live. So this 3% right now is precious, and I need to make every second of it count, and I need to enjoy every second of it. And perspective and self-awareness is huge in allowing me to do that, and that's what I'm going to share with you on this channel. I was inspired to do this daily, to get into doing this daily. I've been making videos for a long time. I've made over 1,000 YouTube videos. They're not all public anymore. I've taken a lot of them down. I had a whole nother channel before, but I didn't set it up correctly. And I want some help setting this one up correctly and doing it correctly. So I reached out to the person that inspired me to start today to start making videos on a daily basis today. This is the one I'm going to pin to the top because this is the initial kickoff video to doing them daily. And I'm going to expand outside the kitchen. But Donnell from WeedhamandReap.com. Search out on YouTube, Weedham and Reap. I'll try and put it down, a link to the channel in the notes down below. I gotta figure out how to do that too. I need some help. But yeah, you gotta check out her show. Her and her husband Kevin have an urban farm in Arizona. They square foot garden. That's how I found them, because I was looking how to build some planter beds, and that's how I found them. Stumbled across them. And she simply shares their life every single day on the farm, you know, on YouTube. And it's mostly about the farm. But in there, sprinkled in, is some of their life. You know, their kids, the way they eat, the fact that she's a doTERRA rep, just different things, you know, sprinkled in throughout the day. And I love it. I'm hooked on it, and she does it daily. I commented on one of her videos. I asked her for 30 minutes just to pick her brain so that I can deliver the best message I can to you guys. So if you haven't checked her out, check her out. While you're there, maybe leave a comment on her video saying, hey, Brian Davis at Brian Davis Alive needs your help. Brian Davis Alive at Brian Davis Alive needs 30 minutes of your time just to pick your brain so that he can give us the best content possible. Maybe you could do that for me. I don't know. But anyway, this is 12 minutes long. I'm going to let you guys go. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do so. Bottom right-hand corner of the screen, there's a little logo, a starburst with a guy standing at the top of the mountain. We've won the battle. Not quite there yet, but click on that starburst, please, and subscribe. That way, when I get enough subscribers, I can rebrand the channel to Brian Davis Alive. With that, I hope every single one of you guys has a blessed day. I'm going to enjoy my Starbucks mocha coffee and move on with the day. You guys have a great one.